Aloha everybody and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about the RAVPower FileHub. Now this is a wireless router that supports 2.4 and 5 gigahertz, supports SD card connections as well as USB connection, and last but not least, converting a standard Ethernet connection over to wireless. But the biggest part about this, it's actually small and it has a built-in battery to power itself. This is TK, let's check it out. Like and subscribe and make sure you hit that bell icon to get notified whenever we put out new videos on the channel. So the box is pretty simple, just says RAVPower, and in the box all you get is the router itself, the instruction manual as well as the support card, and of course a data connection cable. Now this is a micro USB to USB-A to be able to charge up the unit. Unfortunately no USB-C support, but you can definitely use a USB-C cable to connect your accessories if you'd like to. Now you do need to download an application on your phone, and this is called the FileHub, and I'll give you guys a link to that in the description below. And this is how we're going to be able to manage the connections or the features of this actual unit. There's a few buttons on the side as well as on the top, and let's start off. So you have 5 indicators here, and this one's on the left side is basically the internet. So whenever you're connected to the internet, this one will illuminate. This is whenever you have Wi-Fi on or off, and this is the ability to basically use Wi-Fi from it, not connecting to it. Connecting to it will basically either be the 5 gigahertz or the 2.4 gigahertz. If this light is turned off, you're connected to the 2.4 gigahertz with this Wi-Fi on. But if you want to be connected to the 5 gigahertz, you need to be able to toggle the little button right here, the 2.4 to 5 gigahertz, and make sure that both the Wi-Fi and the 5G is illuminated. The SD card is illuminated because I do have an SD card that's in here. I was taking some footage as I was prepping the table. And of course we have the battery level here. This has a 6700 milliamp battery that you can access, and that gets us to the top part of the actual unit. We have a standard USB type A, a micro USB charging port, and of course a full-size Ethernet connection. And this is really functional because you can connect this, let's say you go to a hotel and they have a wired connection. You connect this directly into this FileHub and you just literally created a wireless router from that connection. You can connect all the devices that you want on that single one connection and not have to pay for more than one device. On the bottom, not much. On the right side, we just have one button for power, and you press and hold that to be able to turn it on. And again, to charge it up, all you have to do is basically use the micro USB cable to connect it to this port, as this is only for power, and you'll be able to power this up and just basically charge it up. This port is pretty much just used for data connection, and we'll go ahead and get a chance to test that out. Now, looking over the application, as you can see, it tells you that we have a hard disk connected. That's pretty much the SD card that I have in here, and we are able to connect full hard drives on that side. It references basically remaining capacity of the actual unit itself. It tells you that it's an SD card, and of course that we're connected, video, photos, music, and it can scan the entire card to be able to aggregate that in those categories. Going into the settings tab, we do have the ability of customizing this, and that's really one of the main powers of this FileHub wireless router. First and foremost, we have the ability of going into the FileHub settings, and I'll get into that last, mostly because I want to skip through most of these. So firmware upgrade, this is if you want to be able to check, and if there is one, it'll download and install it. You have the ability of turning on guest mode, cache, as well as language, backup and restore, privacy options, as well as logging out if you want to be able to get out of it. Now, jumping over to the FileHub settings, we have a few options. Wi-Fi settings are for the 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi, and Wi-Fi setting 5G, even though it's 5 gigahertz, it just says the 5G, so just understand there's no wireless, there's no basically cellular connection. They're referencing 5 gigahertz. LAN connection, of course, configuration. Internet setting is where you connect this unit to the internet, either via wired or wireless. So that's even the other big benefit, is you can actually share a wireless connection. So you can have this connect to a wireless connection. And I'll show you what I mean by that. Is in this setting option, what you'll see here, you'll see the available networks in my area, but it also shows that I'm actually going to be connected to one. So this is the connection that I'm on. It says the plus check mark here. You can notice that there is internet access, and of course I can go in there, click the little information button, and it tells you what my basically this is my local LAN IP address, and of course that it's connected, and it will be sharing the internet from there. Otherwise your phone will tell you that it's not sharing it. Last but not least, we have system settings, which you can go in there. So you have user settings, you can customize your password, change the actual name, and then of course disk information will start scanning this disk that I have connected to it. It says it's 120.8 gigahertz, well, gigabytes, and this is a 128 gig SD card, and I have 47.3 gigabytes left. Again, this is really nice information. Now, since we connected to the 5 gigahertz network, we can go in here. If we were connected to the 2.4, we'll be able to turn it there. So I'll go in there, and you can see definitely the name of the basically the SSID. You have the ability of hiding the SSID if you'd like. You can go obviously change the channel automatically. It's set to auto, and of course mixed security depending if you want to be able to get that there. But last but not least, you can also do a quick file transfer speed. And at least at this point, it's given us a rating of over 10 megabytes a second. And that's because we're connected to the 5 gigahertz network. But last but not least, again, as I mentioned to you guys, LAN settings, you can go in there. This is just the information if you want to customize them. And of course, last but not least is the ability of basically using your FileHub. So you can go in here and go through these categories, or you can just click the FileHub, and this is just a standard access. So this is the actual folders that are built into this SD card that I have here. And I did take a quick video right before I was starting to set up the table. So let's go ahead and get into that. So we'll go into private, MP4, clip, and I'll go ahead and make sure that, yes, I am sorted to basically the newest being on top. I'll go ahead and click that. So here, because I was playing the video and I was testing it out, do I want to resume? I want to start over. And it basically assumes that I want to start over at this point. So let's go ahead and turn on audio. So we definitely know that audio works here. And it is using its built-in player. You'll notice right there is DLNA connection, audio track. You can go in there, subtitles, and of course, if you have the ability of actually having that data in the video file. It supports basically whatever your phone will play, so that's one of the other formats that you want to keep in mind. And what I was accessing there is an SD card that I used with the camera that you guys are looking at me with. So I was setting up the table and I wanted to go through there. So that was pretty much how you access information that you connect to it. But one of the other cool things you could do, of course, is the ability of transferring information from your local drive to it or back and forth by basically going through it. So let's say we're going to go into this MP root. That was that one clip that I was showing you guys. I'm going to press and hold on that, as well as the XML file for it. And I'm going to say copy to. And you can notice right there it says external SD card, or basically SD card or external SD. I'm going to say SD card, and that's my internal directory here on my device. So that's my phone. I'm going to go in here and I'm going to go ahead and say paste. So it's a 666 megabytes file. Let's see how long it takes. It's already up to 8%, and it should be actually done pretty quickly. And the last one, of course, is just a 1.2K. Just want to show you guys a quick transfer rate. I did test it out with a 4K file. It does play, and the really cool things about this is multiple people can access the same file at the same time. So you can have a video file that's sitting there, and you can definitely enjoy it for between two people. So it's already at 42%, and I'm not sure if it shows me. No, it doesn't show me actually any actual progress at the top. But again, just transferring complete, failed, if any issues, whatever. We'll give it a second. As you saw, it didn't take too long, and it's definitely really nice. Now the really cool thing is that you actually can connect an hard drive as well as an SD card and use the backup functionality as to use that actual button, SD to USB. So let's say you're on the field and you want to be able to back up your SD cards right away. Plug in the SD card directly with an external hard drive, push the button without even turning on the app, and it will back up that entire SD card directly into the actual hard drive. The other option, of course, here is you'll notice this is still the SD card that I showed you before. If I swipe to the right, this is the information for my hard drive. So I can click that file management and I can jump in directly into it. So it says USB disk 1 or SD card. So I'll go ahead and here. And this is essentially my hard drive here. Now I'm using this Samsung, it's a 1 terabyte drive. And of course I can access the same information, all the other stuff that I normally have. And as far as transfer information, you can go directly from the SD card to the USB, or you can go from the USB directly to your phone, and the other way around. So you can transfer to all the different options, and you have the ability of doing multiple selection, cancel, and of course managing the entire thing. They do have some options here for SD card backup, so you can initiate this function the same way you have with this button. So to summarize the benefits of the FileHub itself, it's small, it has a built-in battery, the 6700 milliamp battery, so you can charge devices out of it, which is definitely very nice. It has a wireless router that has support for both 2.4 as well as 5 gigahertz. It shares wired and wireless connections, so you're never going to lose internet access. And even if you just don't have internet access, just keep in mind you can actually share media between the different types, so from the SD card to the hard drive and even back and forth. And last but not least, you can have multiple people sharing and watching videos off of this whenever, let's say you're traveling, you can just have your stuff connected there. And of course, if you connect the small hard drive, like the little hard drive that I showed you from Samsung, you definitely have a lot of information and very easy access to it. I want to say thank you very much to RAVPower for sending me this unit to check out and share with you guys my opinions. But other than that, like and subscribe as usual, share this with all your friends that you think may benefit from having a powerful wireless router in their pocket whenever they're traveling. This is TK. I'll see you guys in the next video.